Boston College versus Missouri. This is at 12:45 on SEC Network. And let me tell you, after watching BC in the first couple of weeks, this game really intrigues me. But I do think that Missouri is just that they're a little bit ahead of BC. I think that Bill O'Brien is a fantastic hire for Boston College.
Solid.
He's going to do some great things there at Boston College. That, I'm not saying they're going to make the ACC title game, but dark horse team to make the ACC title game is Boston College. But Missouri is just a little bit ahead of them right now. So give me Missouri by 10-14.
Sorry, guys, we were kind of in the zone, but Ohio podcast said Wisconsin ain't ready for Bama. They only in year 2 of the big rebuild. I mean, I'd say, yeah, it's a big rebuild, but nobody's had more of a rebuild than Tennessee. And Josh Heupel had an 11-win season in his second year. The way things are set up now, guys, you can have your team pretty much where you want it after about 3 or 4 seasons. Robert comes in. Quick comment about Auburn. Once again, embarrassed themselves against Cal. I agree with that. We're going to get to that. Come on, guys. You represent the SEC. Unacceptable. Last year, New Mexico State, and now Cal. Cal's not a bad team, but yes, I agree. And we're seeing New Mexico State had a quarterback that is a game changer. Look at what he's doing at Vanderbilt. I'm just saying, New Mexico State might not, maybe as a team wasn't a great team, but when you got a guy like that on the offense, it's really changing the game. I mean, if you're Auburn, I could see that kind of being an overlook. You probably didn't see that coming. But Robert also says Gamecocks' dominating performance against Kentucky was a shock for me. Not really. I mean, we all predicted Kentucky to win, but it's Mark Stoops. I mean, whatever, dude. Michael, you got anything on that one? I mean, was that really a shock for you?
Honestly, it was just because of how bad
it was. Terrible.
How bad South Carolina played against Old Dominion. I just thought that Kentucky was going to walk all over South Carolina in this game. Got the game at home too.
Yeah,
and still, I mean, just got embarrassed. 31-6. Couldn't get anything going.
What about I'm going to stir the pot. What about old Gerald Mincey talking about how Tennessee is going to be easy to defend Tennessee. They can't even defend South Carolina, dude. Like, come on. And then he gets hurt.
Yeah, right. I texted you. I tuned over to that game. I was on my lunch break at work. I tuned over to that game after the Arkansas overtime performance. And as soon as I turned it on, Gerald Mincey is laying on the ground hurt. And I was like, man.
No comment.
Yeah.
Let's see. Boston College, Missouri. I do like the matchup here. A little bit more intriguing than maybe we thought in the offseason just because of what Boston College has been able to do here. Missouri still hasn't given up any points this entire season. I know it's only 2 games, but they've not given up a single point, like not even field goals. Yeah. I like Missouri in this game. Their defense is pretty good.
Yeah, Jade tuning in. She says, watching from Linville. Jade, we appreciate you tuning in to us. So
I'm surprised she didn't say get off the podcast and come back and help us because that's kind of right. I like the AC, I don't like the sweat. It is what it is.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't judge me, but we appreciate you tuning in. We both chose Missouri on this one, correct?
Yes, that's right. Next one, Tulane versus Oklahoma. This game is at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN. Does Oklahoma overlook Tulane a little bit, looking ahead to Tennessee?
I could absolutely see this. Tulane's not a bad football team, and they almost beat Kansas State. That was my upset pick of the week. They had the lead in the fourth quarter. They were then tied. Tulane's quarterback trying to make a play, ends up fumbling, scoop and score, and that's how Tulane loses to Kansas State, 27-34. I think it was a 7-point game. So yeah. Tulane's not a bad team. Oklahoma looked like crap last night. It's hard not to take that in consideration. I want to take Tulane, but I don't want the hype around the game between Tennessee and Oklahoma to drop either. I know that sounds dumb because at the end of the day, I only care about our boys, but I want the game, I want the environment to be fired up, and the only way to get that is if both teams are undefeated going into the game. So give me Oklahoma, but if it weren't for Tennessee and Oklahoma playing next week, I probably would take Tulane in this game. I swear.
I think I agree with you. I was really leaning towards Tulane for a little bit, but I think that game against Houston yesterday kind of woke them up. They realized, hey, we got some things we need to work on in this game before we can even dare think about Tennessee. So I think Oklahoma is going to be ready to play in this one. And I think Oklahoma gets a win in this game here. 4:15 Eastern on SEC Network. We got UAB going up against the Hogs. You taking the Hogs in this one?
They pissed me off, but yes, I'm taking the
Hogs. I think this game is
4 turnovers in the second half to lose to Oklahoma State. And you know what pissed me off even more than that? Sorry, I'm just emotional. Mike Gundy come out in a post-game interview is like, yeah, players, coaches never panicked. We made halftime adjustments and we came out there and took care of it. No, you didn't. Arkansas just gave you the ball 4 times in the second half. You didn't do nothing. Arkansas got in their own way. Look, I'm sorry, but this was one of the picks that I had last week that I felt really good about. And they were winning 21 or 28 to like 7 at one point. Oh, God. Sam Pittman needs to be fired after that game. That was wild. That's a hot take, but I don't care. You can pick your game, but yeah, I'm taking Arkansas. It's fine.
I'm also going to take Arkansas in this one, but I think this game is a lot closer than what they would like. Arkansas is going to score points, but I think UAB is also going to score points. So I think this game is a little bit closer than what they want it to be, but Arkansas does end up getting the win in this game.
Robert says A&M and the Gators is a toss-up game. Who knows? I agree with that, but I think Gators might. Gators need it more. Now, whether or not they play like they need it more, well, that'll show a lot of how they feel about Billy Napier, in my opinion, as a program.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Next game I've got on the slate, Ole Miss versus Wake Forest. And what are we doing here? A game on the CW? A game on the CW? ACC, what are we doing? Nobody's going to watch that.
What are you talking about? CW is a solid channel. Dude, watch your mouth. Put some respect on the CW, dog.
Not for sports.
Nah, they got some great shows. You better take that back right now.
Yeah, they've got some great shows, but CW is not for sports. So.
The CW, I don't care. TNT ain't for sports, but by God, I'll watch something on there. Look, whatever. CW is a solid channel, in my opinion.
I agree. Like I said, just not for sports. But anyway, Ole Miss and Wake, this game is not even close. Ole Miss is just that good this year. Wake Forest is that bad. Ole Miss wins by 1,000,000.
I'm glad you took my pick. Just go ahead and write it down and move on.
Yeah. Next game on the slate, we have got Texas going up against UTSA. This game is at 7 Eastern on ESPN. Don't know why it's there on ESPN. Figured it would be the ESPN Plus game, but here we are.
Help me out. The Texas, who did they play last week? Yesterday, I guess I should say.
I'm gonna help out the Ohio podcast here if he's still watching. That team up north starts with an M.
Nah, it couldn't have been that team because didn't they win like 31-12? And it wasn't even that close in my opinion. I mean, there's no way they went up to the big house against that team up north and posted a score like that. No. Did they cover? I'm trying to remember. Was that a best bet?
They covered.
I think that was a best bet, wasn't it?
That one actually was not a best bet, but it was.
It was in my book, dog. It was absolute. I bet on that game. That was not even a joke. Yeah,
I did too.
Give me Texas by as many as they want against UTSA.
Yeah, I completely agree. This is not the UTSA of a couple years ago. Texas wins this one easily. So let's see. Next one that I've got, and I've actually got to pull it up real quick. It is Vanderbilt traveling to Georgia State. This game is 7 o'clock Eastern time. Vanderbilt fans, any of them watching, this game is on the ESPN Plus. You will have to have that subscription to watch this game. It's not going to be on TV. But, dude.
Did you know that Vanderbilt's over-under total on the season was 2.5? And we're in week 3, and they've already got 2 wins.
Hey, I took the over 2.5 too.
But everybody did.
But it's because I thought their wins were going to be Georgia State, whoever the crap they played yesterday, and then whoever they play later in the season is not any good. So that was
Give me
their 3 wins.
For the first time ever, you're going to hear me say Vanderbilt by as many as they want against Georgia State. Now, you better not let me down, but they're looking solid. I think they had a shutout yesterday, 55-0. I think that's the first time Vanderbilt's had a shutout by that margin in a decade at least, probably. It's been a while.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. But Vanderbilt wins this game. I'm not going to say by as many as they choose. Georgia State is a decent team. I'm not going to bring up what happened in Knoxville a few years ago, but those are some dark times. But Georgia State is a decent team. I think they'll give Vanderbilt a few problems, but Vanderbilt does end up winning this game by multiple scores. Next game on
Matt, hang on. Matt says, unfortunately, Texas is for real. Yeah, I mean, yes. Ohio Podcast says Quinn Ewers leading for Heisman? I'm gonna say no, but I do think he's probably the most popular player. I don't think he's leading for Heisman. He's not playing bad, but I don't think he's playing like a Heisman, in my opinion.
I don't disagree.
Unsung, would you say Texas running game is a tad suspect? No, in fact, I would say that's kind of what helped them win over Michigan. They had that blue kid that ran up and down their throat, and he's like the 4-string running back. So no, I mean, I don't know what you mean by tad suspect. I would say alarming is what you meant by that. Like, is it not good? But in my opinion, their running game is pretty stout. I think it's pretty solid.
Yeah. All right. Next game on the docket is going to be a massacre, in my opinion. It is at 7:30. All right. Next game on the docket is New Mexico coming to Auburn. Now, this is not New Mexico State. This is New Mexico.
I was going to say, he just shit his pants. Actually, he did, because they lost to Cal, and wow, what a embarrassing loss that was. Yeah, Auburn better win this game, because if not, there's some massive questions. I mean, there's already massive questions, in my opinion. Peyton Thorne, they really need to move on from that kid. I don't know. Give me Auburn, even if they play Peyton Thorne.
Yeah, give me Auburn in this game. I don't know what the line is on it right now. I hadn't looked yet, but Auburn will win this game. But there is still a lot of question marks right now in Auburn that need to be answered going forward. Let's see. Next game on the docket is Toledo going up against Mississippi State. This game is at 7:30 Eastern on ESPNU. Another team that's got some questions that need to be answered is Mississippi State. They got embarrassed last night against Arizona State. Final in that game was, well, Mississippi State actually made a comeback in the second half. That tells you what I know. I went to bed at halftime, and it was 27-3 at halftime, but final was 30-23. Looks like Blake Shapen did end up with a pretty decent game, but still a lot of questions that need to be answered Mississippi State. But I mentioned this earlier. There's not a lot of pressure for Jeff Lebby in year one at Mississippi State, so he's got time. He's going to get it figured out. They win this game easily against Toledo.
I'll second that. Give me Mississippi State.
All right, so both of us got Mississippi State in this game. Last one, you got the boys. It is at 7:45 Eastern on SEC Network. Kent State coming to Knoxville. Is there anything? There's nothing special going on in this one. Is it just regular old Tennessee wearing orange? No.
You will probably see the classics. White, orange, white. I mean, yeah, there's nothing special. And not that I've heard of. Man, I would love for them to go full orange for one game, but this is not the game to do it. But I'd love for them to go orange, orange, orange. I know we've got hate on the orange helmets, but if you bring them home, all right, if you wear them at home, there could be a different feel around it. I don't know. That's just my opinion. But this game, we've talked about it. Tennessee's going to handle it. We just need to be clean, stay healthy, and execute a 2-minute drill. That would be nice. Get the wide receivers back in the game, and then carry the fight to Oklahoma. But by all means, we're not looking past Kent State. But just got to kind of help keep building that momentum and defense continue to rotate and look solid, look very, very good.
Yep, I'm with you. Tennessee wins this one by as many as they choose.